Welcome to the Get Real with King Arthur show. And I'm still on quantum physics and I. I've been reading the biography of Sylvia Plath, one of the greatest of modern poets, an amazing woman. She was so dedicated, she received awards from her prose and poetry in high school, the university, and all her life. Now, we all know, or you probably know if you know anything about her, that she ended up committing suicide in London on a cold day, putting her head in, opening the oven and putting her head there. Now, she'd had suicidal thoughts at various periods in her life, but I want to suggest that her philosophy, outlook on life, contributed to her suicide, which was a tragedy for herself, for her two young daughters, and for her family. Now, although she grew up in the Unitarian Church, she reported that her belief was that we lived in a hostile universe and that one could not rely on the universe because it was hostile to human beings. That's not a very good foundation to live your life on. Now, the two recent books I read on quantum theory, don't mention the fact that man has consciousness. It's all materialism. Brilliant, I must say. I honor them for their work, but not a hint of consciousness, not a hint of what the meaning is, where we come from, where we're going, nothing. I think it's a bit like dressing a kid for school, and maybe the mother says, well, put on shoes and stockings, and you say, well, I've cut off her feet so we don't have to worry about that. So materialistic theoreticians say, well, we don't have to worry about meaning or consciousness because we just ignore it. Well, anyway, I want to contrast her predicament with the thought of Robert Browning, the poet. And Robert Browning had a theory of high possibilities. And his idea was this, that we are not sure, none of us, we don't have all the answers, that's for sure. But we are obligated to act as if there is meaning, and the highest meaning, because our belief is a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so if you believe that the world is meaningless, then you will make it meaningless, help to make it meaningless. If you believe that the world has meaning, well, you might just make it have meaning. Now, Browning illustrates this in his poem, Saul. And in the poem, he refers to the biblical account of King Saul, who was in a deep mood of depression. And so they brought in the young David, the singer. And Browning describes how he sneaked under the tent with his lyre, and he began singing. And first he sang the song of animals in the field and shepherds and nature and pleasant things. And he keeps going higher as far as meaning goes until he comes to Christ himself. Now, self-fulfilling prophecy. If you want the world to be meaningless, then act as if it's meaningless. Now, that's not the whole reason for faith and belief, but it's one good argument for it. And I suggest that you're obligated, if you're any kind of moral person, to act as if the world has meaning. In Rabbi Ben Ezra, he says, I seek meaning. That's my quest. To find meaning is my meat and drink. And the writer who survived the Nazi concentration camp did so by creating meaning with his own scribbled secret writings. So, live as if the world has meaning, and you will help bring meaning to the universe. And I suggest you live as if the world has meaning by acting as if it does, as if you're a moral being, as if you're responsible, as if the world has meaning and means it intensely, as Rabbi Ben Ezra says. Well, start acting as if the world has meaning. And you are obliged to live up to that high meaning. The doctrine of high possibilities. How can you go beyond the truth that we serve a God of love? The Dalai Lama said one time, we Buddhists lack what Christians have, a God of love. So, we move in that direction. Live with meaning. Create meaning, because your life votes for meaning. Whom do you vote for? Meaning or lack of meaning? Well, give me feedback. If I'm crazy, you don't like Browning? Well, you don't have to like Browning. But I'll tell you, Sylvia Plath built her house upon the sand. And if you want the world to have no meaning, then you subscribe to that. The world is hostile. There is no meaning. Well, give me feedback. And I hope that you find meaning in your life and live for meaning. Thank you.